I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo? Let's get busy!
All right. Time to get busy here. And I'm going to pay back a friend. On your mark, get set, go. Good morning! Welcome on this Friday. And it's Potluck Friday, so we're going to have a lot of fun over the next 90 minutes. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning. We are presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. What the hell went on in the Big Ten tournament? Illinois defeats Indiana. Northwestern beats Iowa. And now both teams get to face a team from Michigan. Illinois gets top seeded Michigan, and Northwestern gets Michigan State. Again, I ask a very subtle question. What the hell went on? And not just the Big Ten either. The Big East took a nosedive. I shouldn't say took a nosedive. The Big East got turned upside down because perennial favorites, Georgetown and Villanova, are out. And Villanova lost in a buzzer beater. March Madness is here, kids. March Madness is going to be here for a while. Oh, boy. I got a very special birthday and a very special shout-out to do. And I'm going to handle both of those after the first break. It's Potluck Friday, so there's no sense in me telling you what's on tap because, well, frankly, don't know what's on tap yet. But I do know we're going to have some fun today, like I said. If you're logged on through Spreaker, you can join us in the chat room, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/snowmaninthemorning. And you can tweet us while we're going at Snow Morning Show. So stick around and hang with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some great basketball, and good luck to the UIC women's basketball team this evening. They have top-seeded Green Bay in Green Bay in the Horizon League semifinals. I'm going to let you know the result of that during tomorrow's digest before we get going from one of the greatest city names I've ever heard, Bourbon, Indiana. That's where we will be tomorrow for Marquette Catholic basketball. All right, let's get down to business. Rusty's morning rap is right now. And here's Rusty. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Sound like you're on the move again.
Oh, you know something? I got to laugh about this whole situation. You talk about March Madness. I'm sitting here thinking about, we haven't got Selection Sunday yet, and all this craziness is beginning. But that's college basketball.
Yeah.
That's the fun of college basketball. And, I mean, tell you the truth, if you go right now and start thinking, okay, who's going to win the national tournament next week? In the next few weeks, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's like just put your hand into a bucket, pull out a team. That's the way things are going to go this year.
Yeah. It's going to be.
I'm just glad I'm not part of the NCAA tournament committee.
I'm glad I'm not part of it either. There's no way I could.
I sit and look at the ESPN every night. Teams that are on the bubble, teams that are 4 in, 4 out, they have no clue.
None.
There's no clue to that whole thing.
None.
Because right now, if Illinois wins one more game, tell you the truth, I think they're in the tournament. They're going to be in the tournament whether they're playing or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I really believe that too. Oh boy!
I mean, as crazy as this season has been, they win a bunch of games, they lose a bunch of games. They're still over 500. They're still beating teams in the Big Ten. A lot of kudos to the Big Ten because there are a lot of good teams, but everybody's been knocking off each other all year anyhow.
Mm-hmm. And they have 19 wins.
And that's quality. I mean, if they're over 500,
that's quality enough
maybe
for
not
me.
within their league, but I think 19 is quality enough to get in.
Wow. And the tournament's just getting started. That's the crazy part. What else you got on the wrap for us this morning, Rusty?
Wow, let me just...
Okay, Rusty, where'd you go?
Here's some more. Okay, let's go. Morning. Brian, everybody, welcome to Friday and the weekend. Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Bulls had one of its biggest quarters of the season, 35 of them. In the third quarter, ran away from the Houston Rockets 111-87 at the United Center. Mike Dunleavy had a gash above his eye, received 10 stitches, and returned, scoring 21 points. Kurt Heinrich added 19, and 5 3-pointers. Joakim Noah just missed a triple-double by one assist. The Bulls next host the Sacramento Kings tomorrow night back at the United Center. College basketball, talking about it, championship week, Big Ten tournament, Illinois over Indiana, 65-54. Northwestern got past Iowa, 67-62. Ohio State and Minnesota also won games. Western Athletic Conference, Chicago State fell to Cal Santa Barbara, 68-62. Games today, the Big Ten, Illinois meets Michigan. Nebraska plays Ohio State. Wisconsin goes against Minnesota, and Northwestern takes on Michigan State as the last game this evening. Blackhawks return back home. Hopefully changed its luck after a loss in Colorado the other night. Hawks will host Nashville Predators this evening at the United Center. Cactus League Baseball, White Sox lost the LA Angels 8-6. Cubs had the day off today. Cubs will host the Dodgers, while the White Sox will play the Indians. Golf, the Valspar Championship, Palm Harbor, Florida. Matt Every, Pat Perez, Greg Chalmers, and Danny Lee each share the lead at 3 under par. Round 2 starts here shortly. Auto racing, NASCAR sprint car race moves through Bristol Motor Speedway on Sunday afternoon. Soccer, Chicago Fire, looking to get their first win of the season, will take on the Timbers in Portland on Sunday afternoon. High school basketball.
Yes, indeed.
Sectional finals coming up in a lot of places in Class 3A and 4A this evening. I, for one, will be out at one of them, probably one of the better games of the night. Stevenson versus Friends, and that'll be over in Lake Zurich. By the way, there's only one loss between both teams.
Wow.
So we should have a dandy of a game there. And, of course, there's a bunch of other ones going all across the state of Illinois. And lastly, Brian, what is the status of Peter Tillman returning to play with the Bears next year? Right now, there's no news from General Manager Phil Emery. Not sure why either. Tillman is a free agent. He made $8 million last year. He is visiting Lubbock Smith in Tampa. Could end up there, but there are some other teams that are kind of showing interest too. And why not? He's a pretty darn good player.
Yes, he
Rusty
is.
Silver for the Arena Sports Network, and don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
Thanks a lot, Rusty. Have a great weekend. Have a great game tonight. I know I got one on my hands here on the South Side, so have a great time, my friend.
All right, you too. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. That is Rusty Silver for Rusty's Morning Wrap, presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Now, folks, we're going to pause for a break. I got a special shout to do to a friend, a coach who just became a friend, and his team won a state championship last night. I'll tell you who it is, and I'll have a special guest, a birthday boy, introduce.
Hey, you guys, could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes.
Housing repairs.
To buy a new car. I'm saving for grad school.
And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a little banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with an
automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune in to Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
Ah, the heck with it. Nah, Josh, wake up! I would let this song run. Welcome back. Snowman in the Morning, 13 beyond the hour. Here on the Arena Sports Network. Visit us at thearenasportsnetwork.com/SITM for our show page. We'll have a guest book installed there on Monday. And I got a special shout to do. I made a promise to a friend of mine. He is a coach, and his name is Antoine Patrick. And Antoine Patrick and his SV Marshall High School Tigers out of Mississippi claimed the 2A state championship in their championship game played last night at the Mississippi Coliseum. They defeated Baldwin by a final of 45-43. And DeMarcus Weatherall led all scorers with 21 points. He picked up 9 rebounds and helped out in a 21-point fourth quarter to send the Tigers on to victory. Their season concludes at 27-6, and Baldwin concludes their season at 31-4, the state runner-up. So, again, a special shout to my good friend Antoine Patrick, the coach of the SV Marshall Tigers out of Lexington, Mississippi. They claim the 2A state championship. And now let's move from high school basketball. I'll get back to high school basketball in a bit. But we got some big basketball news that we didn't get a chance to hit yesterday. And I say we because I have a guest on the line whose birthday is today. And this rat bastard called me a rat bastard for getting him up when he told me he was going to be doing his show on his birthday. So, yeah, I'm going to pick on him. But he's a dear friend of mine. Jeff Escal, Sports World Radio, joins me. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Happy birthday, partner.
Thank you very much, my friend. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm doing wonderful. Got a good basketball game to cover tonight, and I got one to cover tomorrow, so I'm having a blast right now.
So those teams scored 45 and 43 points in their game the other day?
Yeah.
Wow, they scored more points than Utah State did against San Diego State.
And more points than Utah did against Arizona last night.
Yeah, San Diego State beat Utah State last night 73-39.
I think that was the same score with Arizona beating Utah.
How crazy
something,
is that?
Something around that area.
39 points you score
in 40 minutes.
In 40 minutes in a Mountain West tournament game? Get out of here.
And these two teams, the two that I mentioned, scored more than that in 32 minutes.
That's nuts. That's just nuts. That's just nuts.
Do me a favor, folks, and wish Jeff a happy birthday. It's his birthday today, so I'm bringing him on for a little bit. He's going to ride shotgun with me. There's a story we didn't get a chance to get to yesterday, and you being the Nick that you are, I'm going to let you tell the story and give your opinion before I come in. And plus, it is his birthday, so I'm being nice. Go for it, Jeff.
Oh, my God. Phil Jackson, I hope he signs the contract to the New York Knicks, because right now you have Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant pleading with him not to go to the Knicks. On Twitter, on Facebook, on anywhere, anybody will listen, pleading to him not to go to the Knicks and come back and go and take over the Laker job. Lots of luck with that, because Jim Buss ain't never going to let that happen.
No, he's not.
And if he wanted it to happen, it would have happened already. So
you know what? In all honesty,
I
should have
need
happened.
New York Knicks to sign Phil Jackson ASAP, because the last time the Knicks won a freaking championship was the last time Phil Jackson was on the New York Knicks, 1973. Come on,
1973.
Yeah, come on, man, give me a break. It's my birthday. Sign the freaking contract today, will you? Give me a present. Give me some help, will you?
Bit of a Knicks fan, are we?
Bit of a Knicks fan. Come on, man.
You're originally from New York. So.
I'm going to tell you a really quick story. When the Knicks, the very first draft, 1986 it was, 1985. Yeah. The very first lottery that they had, and the Knicks got Patrick Ewing. We lived in New York in an apartment at the time. My dad jumped so high that the Knicks got the first. He banged his head on the ceiling.
Oh, ouch.
That's how happy we were that the Knicks got Patrick Ewing. And we all hated Patrick Ewing when he was with Georgetown because we were all St. John's fans.
You're all St. John's fans, exactly.
Yes, exactly right. But we were so happy when he went to the Knicks.
And that year, y'all split that series, St. John's and Georgetown. You went on each other's home court because St. John's beat Georgetown in the Capitol Center, and then Georgetown returned the favor 3 weeks later at the Garden.
Yeah, so a little quick story. That's how long I've been a Knicks fan, my whole life, and I'm 48 years old today.
Here's the wild part about that. You know, even though Georgetown lost to St. John's in the Capitol Center, those two remained at number 1 and number 2 throughout the entire time until they played again. In fact, they played each other 3 times because they faced each other in the Final Four.
Right, they play each other twice a year, and then they played each other in the East tournament, and then they played again each other in the big tournament.
In the Final Four, and that was in Lexington, Kentucky. Now,
those were the good old days when college basketball was fun to watch.
Yeah, when you knew the marquee players who were coming in, when you knew the marquee teams that you either loved or hated, there was no in between. That you knew who was coming in. You knew who the standouts were. Okay, that's when college basketball, like you said, was fun to watch.
Well, that's back then. You had Villanova, you had St. John's, you had Georgetown.
Raleigh Massimino.
Yeah, oh, man, what a great coach he was.
And speaking of great coaches, Lou Carnesecca with that sweater.
I went to a basketball camp. Actually, I went to Pistol Pete Maverich's basketball camp when I was a young fella. And Lou Carnesecca was my coach.
Wow.
Unstinking unbelievable.
That's legend in and of itself right there.
I saw Pete Maravich make a foul shot, and the net never moved.
What happened to shots like that, man? You don't see shots like that anymore.
The net never moved, and he sat there for 2 hours and tried and did it again and couldn't do it.
March Madness is well underway. The Knicks are close to signing Phil Jackson, according to reports. Now, I'm going to ask an obvious question. Jeff Escal, Sports World Radio, riding shotgun with me. How big would this signing be for the Knicks, considering the mess that they're in right now?
If James Dolan can keep his big mouth shut and his ego out of it, it's big. If he can't, they're going to clash, and he ain't going to be there long. That's the whole thing in a nutshell right there. James Dolan got to check his ego and keep his mouth shut and let Phil do his job.
See, here's the problem, though. And you just mentioned James Dolan needs to keep his mouth shut. I'm just afraid he won't.
Not going to. I know he's not going to. He's not that type of owner.
He's trying. What he's trying to do, and this is my opinion, and I may be wrong. But this is from what I'm seeing. What he's trying to do is gut salary and make the team the way he wants it instead of bringing in the right people to run the organization. He doesn't want to let go of the reins. It's kind of like who you mentioned, Jim Buss out in Los Angeles. You know, what's with people like this, man?
How crazy would it be when Phil takes a job in New York, he brings Jeannie with him?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
You didn't think about that, did you?
Yes, actually I did.
How about
actually,
that?
I did, yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't want to go to L.A. because he knows L.A. is getting rid of Dan Antonio, and he knows that. And he's got to know that because his fiancée is Jeannie Buss, so he's got to know that.
Oh, he's got all the inside information. He's got all the inside information. Are you kidding me?
I would not be shocked if he takes the New York Knicks job
and brings Jeannie with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked at all. Not at all.
You know, and 3/4 of the people who don't know the inside scoop are going to be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. I wouldn't be shocked
Brian,
at all.
Everybody asks for honesty, right?
Yep, and we're giving it to them.
Okay, so Steve Nash in a tweet was honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's mad at him for being honest, right? He says, I'm playing next year because I want the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty honest.
Yeah, that's about as honest as you can get.
Okay, now everybody's jumping down his throat because he's honest, because he's saying he's playing for the money.
Well, you know
Hello?
why? Well, you know why? It's the way the culture's set up.
It's ridiculous. Hello? Let me ask you a question. Kobe Bryant, do you play for the money? Damn right I do.
Yep, he'll respond that way in a heartbeat.
Carmelo Anthony, do you play for the money? You're damn right I do.
Same thing.
Every fan says, be honest. Tell us you want to play for the money. A player says, I want to play for the money, and the fans jump down his throat. You can't have it both ways, people.
Well, they want it both ways.
It's ridiculous, man. I found that so funny this morning when I saw that. I find that hilarious. You want the players to be honest. He's being honest. I'm telling you, I want to play because I want more money. And now the fans are jumping down his throat because he's being honest. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I just don't understand.
And you and I have talked about it before. It's the culture that we're in. It's the culture that we're in. People 90% of the time want to have their cake and eat it too. All right? And that is where the clash lies. You want players to be honest, especially professional players, because so many of them are idolized. You want professional players to be honest and why they're playing, and yet one player is, and it kicks a Pandora's box wide open. Okay, you asked him to be honest. He was honest. And now you want to jump down his throat? Something wrong with his picture?
Exactly. It's like Justin Tuck just signed with the Oakland Raiders, right?
Yeah.
For 2 years for $12 million, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He didn't go there for the freaking championships. He went there for the money.
He went for the money.
Discussion.
He went for the money because we all know the mess that Oakland is in.
Exactly.
Okay? It's not like Justin Tuck signed with let me give you two good examples. It's not like he signed with the 49ers or the Seahawks who have great defenses.
Re-signed with the Giants.
Or re-signed with the Giants, exactly.
He went for the money.
He did not sign with a team that had a chance to win a championship and will not have a chance to win a championship for a long time because the wrong people are in place running that joint. No,
exactly.
He went there because people showed him a pile of money and he took it.
Exactly. Now, if he turned around and says, I signed with the Raiders for the money, nobody's going to say anything. But
not
because
a thing.
Steve Nash said it, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know why Steve Nash said it? Well, let me change my sentence. Forgive me. Well, you know why they're jumping down Steve Nash's throat? Because Steve Nash openly said it, part one, and part two, he was such a popular player for a long time, injuries aside.
Right.
You know, his popularity is going to take a hit, but he doesn't care.
No,
he
and I
doesn't
think
care.
because he's injured and out, fans are a little disgusted with that saying, too.
Players get injured, okay?
Uh-huh.
And Steve Nash is 40 years old. Okay, now Steve Nash ain't nowhere near John Stockton, don't get me wrong, but he was a hell of a player in his prime, and he won 2 MVPs. Okay? And now you want to jump down his throat because he's actually being honest about something that people beg professional athletes to be honest about. And yet, when a few of them are being honest in that subject and in that arena, the fans want to revolt. You can't have it both ways.
I agree. It just pisses me off because the fans want the players to be honest. He's honest, and now the fans don't want the honesty. Make up your freaking mind.
Because it hit him in the – it's a phrase I use very often, because it socked him in the mouth.
Yep, hit him right between the eyes.
Because it socked him in the mouth. It woke him up. It made him realize the athletes are honest. Wait a minute. That's not what we wanted. Well, yeah, that is what we wanted. But wait a minute. Now we don't. They don't make up their minds.
Exactly.
Ron Murchison has a comment in the chat room. He said, people hate honesty. Remember how players and fans got mad at Chipper Jones saying the Braves wouldn't beat the Dodgers in last year's playoffs? People that follow sports casually, there's a big word in that sentence. People who follow sports casually do not like honesty because they want to see the athletes that they admire succeed without having money be a factor. Hello? They're professional athletes. Money is going to be involved whether you like it or not. All right? You just mentioned the good situation with Justin Tuck going to Oakland. You really expect Oakland to compete right now?
No.
You really expect Oakland to compete right now? Okay. Now, we already had surmised that he took the money and ran. Period. I'm almost afraid to see the behavior the Giants fans are acting like because Justin Tuck did not re-sign with them. He got shown a pile of money and he took it.
It's because he wanted a pile of money and the Giants didn't want to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame him.
And the same is going to happen with Steve Smith. The exact same thing is going to happen with Steve Smith.
Boy, he's not happy, is he?
No. No. Would you be if you've been the face of a franchise for 11 years and then they decided to cut ties with you for quote-unquote financial reasons? Come on.
Ask Peyton Manning.
14 years in Indy and they let him go.
Ask Peyton Manning. You're no better than Peyton Manning at this point right now.
Yep. And as much as I hate to bring up this cost-cutting move because it involves my favorite team, ask Joe Montana.
It happens to every team.
It does.
There's no team that can't. There's no team in any professional sport that it does not happen to.
And it's ridiculous when it does happen, and the fans who, I'll say it again, the casual fans who do not follow the sport they love intently and get to know their team. I've had this discussion before, talking about knowing the details of your team and knowing the inside move and what's going on. And then the tweet happens with Steve Nash, and then we see people taking money and run. Well, what do you expect them to do? They're showing a pile of money, and their original team's not going to match the offer. You know, players got to feed their families, right? Come on, let's look at this from a cultural standpoint. Players have to feed their families, period. All right? So they are shown a pile of money. Their original team doesn't match. What do you expect them to do? Go on the unemployment line? No, they want to keep playing. So they're going to take the money and they're going to run with it.
Yeah, I'm going to play for the money this time. I'm not going to play for a championship. Okay, Justin Tuck.
Merch with another thought. Very few athletes are, if any, are playing for the love of the game. Too much money to be made for it to be love. And my friend Corbett Thompson of the King James Radio Network, who's tuning us in from near your neck of the woods in New Jersey, says, as a Giants fan since '84, I thank Justin Tuck for our 2 championships and wish him well in Oakland. Now that I give him because he did help them win 2 Super Bowl titles, both of them against the Patriots. Thank you, Lord, for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he really hasn't played worth the hill of beans.
No,
since he got hurt.
No.
So I'm okay to see him go because he's not the same Justin Tuck. And
right.
Let him go to Oakland, far away from the NFC East.
Far from the NFC East and into the abyss we call the Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah,
but did.
You got Oakland, the only team in the AFC West that didn't make the playoffs last year.
Surprising, isn't it?
Actually, the only team. The 3 other teams made the playoffs.
And as surprising as it is, it isn't. That
They're
Oakland
didn't make
the playoffs.
For a while.
It's going to be that way for a while. Mm-hmm. Who
hey, really quick about the San Diego State Aztecs. Do you know that the last 16 opponents that the Aztecs had to face with a 24-hour or less turnaround time, the Aztecs have won all 16 games.
It'll be 17 after tonight.
After tonight, they play UNLV tonight. Yeah. How
you know,
about that? That's a nice little stat.
As much as I love the Rebels from the Jerry Tarkanian era, I'm sorry, Rebels, but San Diego State is going to run you over.
Yeah.
Okay? They're loaded. Period. They're loaded.
Yeah, it's going to be and what really makes me upset is that I was trying to watch the Aztec game yesterday. I couldn't find it anywhere on TV.
Are you kidding me?
Nowhere.
You couldn't find the San Diego State game and you're in San Diego? Who the hell programs this stuff?
I don't know, but I'm watching games from the ACC. I'm watching games from the SEC. I'm watching games from the Pac-10.
I did not lay an eye on the SEC tournament, and I'm not going to either. I'll just let the chips fall where they. I am going to follow the ACC tournament. I know I'm going to follow the Big Ten. I'm going to follow the Mountain West. I'm going to follow the WAC, and I'm going to follow the Pac-12. So I'm paying this year. It's a change because I'm paying more attention to the West Coast teams to see how the pollsters and the voting committee think of them to whomever gets in the tournament from the West conferences. But San Diego State is going to be the biggest wild card in the NCAA tournament in a couple of ways. It's going to be interesting to see where they're placed should they run the table, and I believe they will in the in their conference tournament.
I don't want them to. I want them to lose.
Why?
Because I want them to go into the NCAA tournament hungry.
You got a point. And plus it'll better your argument for Wichita State. Against Wichita State, I should say.
Yeah, and the players will get pissed, and then they'll be hungry. And that's what I want. I really don't want them to win.
You know what our ultimate national championship game is, and we already talked about it, Wichita State and San Diego State for all the marbles in Dallas.
Yeah, I hope so. I would love to see that.
I'd love to see that, too. Jeff Escal riding shotgun with me here on Snowman in the Morning. We are presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Visit tcfbank.com for more information or to start an account. Call 855-TCF-BANK. TCF Bank, surprisingly, TCF. Talking all things basketball so far and mixing a few free agents as well. Speaking of free agents, there were some more moves yesterday. Which one surprised you the most?
Terrell Revis going to New England. I didn't think that they could afford that $12 million.
I don't think Revis is going to be a factor.
He's old, isn't he?
I don't think Revis Island is going to show up. They got rid of – is Talib still with New England? Because I think they got rid of Talib to sign Revis.
Yeah, Talib has actually signed with Denver.
Ooh.
Yeah, Denver Broncos got Talib and Ware.
And DeMarcus Ware. So their defense got shored up in a hurry. But
Thanks a lot, AFC West.
But they still are seeing that safety that opened the Super Bowl. And it's either going to piss them off and wake them up, or it's going to be Peyton Manning's lasting legacy. No matter what he does this coming year.
You know what else surprised me was Josh McCown going to Tampa Bay.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That surprised me a lot.
And the reason?
I thought he would stay in Chicago. But, you know what? I looked at it and I realized that Lovie Smith is the head coach down there in Tampa Bay, so he went back to Lovie.
Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised if Peanut Tillman joined him. Because Peanut Tillman is unsigned right now. Josh, let me get your thoughts on that. Do you think Peanut Tillman will stay with the Bears? Talking all things free agency now with Jeff Escal on Sports World Radio. You can hear his show 5 days a week, 2 hours now, beginning at 6 Eastern.
Yes,
6 Eastern, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time on sportsworldradio.com. He's my guest this morning, celebrating his birthday, doing what he does best, talking sports with myself and a few other folks, and he'll do that this evening. Back to Darrelle Revis. Revis Island, as he had become known as, will not surface because he's been through two devastating injuries in 3 years, and it's hard for me to see him being the same player that he was that everybody feared to throw to or against. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I don't get it at all. Not one bit.
But you know what frightens me on the flip side of that coin? It's the New England Patriots.
It's Bill Belichick. Exactly. And they had to shore up their defense somehow because their defense stunk last year.
They lost to Miami, for God's sakes.
Speaking of Miami, if I'm looking at this right, Ginn left and went to San Francisco. Is that what I'm seeing?
I think he did. Well, he was a part of Frisco's first team in 2011.
He went to Arizona.
Oh, he went to Arizona. Okay.
He went to Arizona. Yeah, how about that?
That'll help them out, and that'll give Patrick Peterson a little bit of a break.
And then Detroit signs
Golden Tate
on the other side for Johnson. Wow. Detroit's looking nice in the wide receiver area. Now you got Tate on one side and Johnston on the other.
Hello. Yeah, they got to take advantage of it.
That's going to be kind of nice over there.
They got to take advantage of it.
Cleveland Browns are surprising in the free agency, getting a lot of people.
Yeah.
So far, to me, they're the most active of them all.
But some of the players, well, one of the players, Dante Whitner, I know is going to have an immediate impact for him. But 2 moves they made yesterday, their quarterbacks are gone. McCoy and Wheaton, they cut them both.
Yeah. So now what do?
They haven't had a quarterback since they returned.
So who are they going to go and get?
That's a good question. Who are they going to? Are they going to draft one?
Oh, great! You know who they should draft? You know what? That team is so messed up. You might as well just draft Johnny Football and just.
Who's been worse, the Cleveland Browns or the Oakland Raiders?
How many games did Cleveland win last year? 3?
Hell, I don't know.
3, 4.
You know who else they
won more than that?
But you know what? Their defense is getting better. A sign of Dante Whitner. If I'm looking at this correctly, they also signed Carlos Dansby.
Right. Yeah, but without a quarterback, you can't win any games.
You can't win without a quarterback. You can't.
Yeah, they got rid of Brandon Wheaton and Jason Campbell.
That's the other one. Lopez with a response. He says, yes, I feel Peanut will come back for a year or two and then hang up the boots with Lance Briggs. There's one. Vince Wilfork out of New England.
Wow.
So he gets away from Belichick. Who's going to pick him up? McCown wasn't staying. Ronald Murchison with a thought in the chat room. Join us in the chat room through Spreaker.com if you can, folks. McCown wasn't staying here. I think after last season, he, along with the non-thinking fans of the Bears, felt those 5 games made him the undisputed starter for 2014, and that wasn't going to happen as long as they keep sticking stuff in Jay Cutler's face, and they gave him a 7-year deal. Now, I made a comparison on Monday. Okay, and I want you to do this with me, Jeff. I hate to bring this name up on your birthday, but I want to get you to rant a little bit, and I want to have a little fun. Would you compare Jay Cutler to Tony You-Know-Who for me, please?
Jay Cutler's got a better team in Chicago than Tony Romo does. First of all, Tony Romo is an average quarterback at best.
At best.
In fact, I'm going to say something. I think I said it yesterday, and I can't believe I'm going to say it.
Say it.
Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Tim Tebow.
Probably the
only person in all of NFL that he's better off.
You did say that yesterday.
Okay, I am not a Tony Romo fan. Everybody knows it. I'm
not a Tony Romo fan either. Never have been. And I've run into so many, forgive me for swearing, Cowboy fans that that said, Romo's going to be our savior. Look, Tony Romo is not Troy Aikman, okay? Get over it.
The biggest problem the Dallas Cowboys have is that Jerry Jones is your general manager.
And has been.
And will always be because he's not going to give it to anybody else. That's the biggest problem
Oh, my word. Well, Josh in the chat room knows this blasphemy comparing Jay Cutler to Tony Romo. I did that, Josh, for a very cheap laugh. You know it, I know it. But Murch has an additional thought. Cutler loses with better players.
Well,
he's got better players on his team, period. And I will say this about Cutler. He now has 2 good weapons to throw to, and Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall.
As far as I'm concerned, Cutler's tougher than Romo.
He is.
Way tougher than freaking Romo.
He's a lot tougher than Romo.
Romo gets a hangnail, he goes out.
Yep. Cutler can go through whatever he needs to. Cutler can have his knee injured, his back injured. He'll suit up and play. The Washington game proved it.
And for anybody to say that Tony Romo is a scrambler is just crazy.
Tony Romo does not know how to put one foot in front of the other because he's constantly dropping back and he winds up on his ass.
Exactly. It's just nuts.
He winds up on his ass 95% of the time. And I know I'm going to make a lot of Cowboy fans angry with that statement, but think about how Tony Romo has done just in the past 2 years.
If he was on any other team, he wouldn't be the starting quarterback.
He wouldn't.
just drives me bananas.
He would be a permanent backup. He lucked into the job in Dallas. I've said that before, and I'm going to continue to say it. He lucked into the job in Dallas.
How does people put Tony Romo on their top 10 list? I don't get it.
Whose top 10 list is he on?
I've heard people say, if I'm starting a football team, I'm going to start with Tony Romo as my quarterback. What are you, freaking on drugs?
Wait. Some people actually made that blasphemous statement?
Yes, I've heard. Yes.
Then I have a counter question. What in the hell were you drinking?
I don't get it. I just don't get it. You can't. As far as I'm concerned, Tony Romo is not even.
I will take my chances
top
with
20.
I will take my chances with Russell Wilson with a hand tie behind his back than I will with Tony Romo. Okay.
I'll take my chances with Andy Dalton. Thank you very much. I think for me personally, Andy Dalton is a better quarterback than Tony Romo. You put Andy Dalton on the Dallas Cowboys, they make the playoffs, they win a playoff game, and they go further. You know what
Tony Romo will be? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You know what Tony Romo is best known for? The fumbled snap on a field goal attempt in Seattle in the playoffs. In a playoff game they should have won, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he'll be known for.
For the rest of his life.
For forever. He will be known for that fumbled snap on a field goal attempt that was a 19-yard field goal attempt. Come on.
Then when I say Tony Romo is not a good quarterback, everybody turns around to me as well. He had a better year than Eli Manning. 1 year does not make a quarterback.
Okay, he had a better year than Eli Manning statistically because he had to run for his life in 15 of the 16 games. He lost a couple of games where he was up big, and I referenced Green Bay in Dallas, okay? Mm-hmm. And third of all, for some reason, he shines on Thanksgiving Day when he should be getting pounded into the bleeping dirt. 1 year does not make a quarterback's legacy, all right? Now, I will say this to counter the argument that 1 year does not make a quarterback's legacy. If he's consistent, then yeah, his legacy is sealed. Okay, but Romo has not been because he's been running for his life.
How many seasons have the Cowboys finished with better than 500?
I think they've only done that once. Since
1996, the Cowboys have finished 9 seasons at or below 500.
Wow.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Way to go, Tony.
Wow.
Woo-hoo! There's your quarterback of the future right there for the Cowboys. Come on. Really?
Okay, why did they bring – there were so many other quarterbacks available. And you're going to select Tony Romo?
I don't get it. And then give him $100.
He tore up. Listen. He tore up the Ohio Valley Conference playing at Eastern Illinois. It's the Ohio Valley Conference. Y'all want to make that? Y'all want to make that argument? Okay, let's do that. It's the Ohio Valley Conference. I mean this in fun. It's the Ohio Valley Conference. People will make that argument. People will make the argument that Tony Romo parlayed what he did at Eastern Illinois into an NFL career. Sorry, Tony Romo ain't Mike Holmgren, okay?
Hey, you know something, Brian? Wichita State's trying to do the same thing Tony Romo's doing.
Oh, and Ron has a funny thought in the chat room. At least Romo's consistent.
Yeah, consistently bad.
Consistently on his ass.
Unbelievable. Wichita State's doing the same thing Tony Romo did.
Like I said, I'll take my chances with Russell Wilson with a hand tied behind his back and blinders on.
Hey, who's Tony's backup?
I have no bleeping idea.
Who it used to be the Chicago quarterback, right? So Kyle Orton, correct?
Yeah. I'll take my chances with him.
Exactly.
More than I would. And when Orton was in there, he did a more than halfway decent job.
With only a week to prepare, correct?
Yep. And he nearly beat Philadelphia to win the NFC East.
With only a week to prepare.
There you go, Tony. And speaking of the Cowboys, God help us, Phil Costa is gone. He signed with Indianapolis. I think Jerry Jones is in the midst of a word he doesn't want to use, which is rebuilding. He doesn't want to use that word. You know who else needs a quarterback badly? The Minnesota Vikings. What the hell are they going to do?
I'd like to see Michael Vick go there. That's a good place for Michael Vick.
Why the hell are you going to? Well, before I pose that question, I'm going to let you answer it. Why do you think Michael Vick will be a good fit in Minnesota?
Adrian Peterson wants him there.
Okay, that's a good reason.
That's a real good reason.
That's a real good reason. I got to pause for a break. When we come back, Jeff and I have more on Potluck Friday. You are listening to Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network. Back in a deuce.
Think differently about groceries. We always have. So what does that mean? It means better, fresher, focused on you. Your neighborhood store that gives you more. It's quality, selection, the variety you want. Choice Meats, Deli, Bakery, your one-stop shop. Everything on your list and all for less. With the savings you deserve and unbeatable service that's different. That's built around you. And that's your Strachan Bent Hill.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting Aids, turning batters into hitters.
This ought to wake you up. This is the kind of song you want to have on when you're flying down the highway on a summer day. Snowman in the Morning back with you, 49 beyond the hour. The question of the day comes your way in a little bit. I got Jeff Escal of Sports World Radio celebrating a birthday and riding shotgun with me this morning, and thank you for doing so. Now, we were having fun talking all kinds of free agent stuff and quarterback situations. You really think Michael Vick could be a good fit in Minnesota? Okay, I'm waiting for Jeff to come. I'm
here. Sorry.
Don't do that.
Sorry about that.
Did you have a birthday drink this morning?
I ran in to get some tea, yes.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I just got back as you were saying hello. I tried to beat you.
You tried to.
It's a little chilly out here this morning, man.
Yeah. All right, as a joke only, that's what you get for living where you are. You zapped me with that 3 different times when we were going through Snowmageddon here in Chicago, so I got to zap you with that.
It's a little chilly. It's about 60 degrees, man.
That ain't a little chilly, okay? Well,
hey, Brian,
wait.
Brian, you know me. I'm a shaved head guy.
Yeah.
I have no hair on my head. I have a knit cap on my head because I'm a little chilly.
Dude, I'm bald too.
It's a little chilly out here.
Just a little.
5:30 in the morning. There's no sun up yet. It's a little chilly.
Well, the sun will be up soon.
Yeah, I know.
Jeff Escal, Sports World Radio. You can hear him Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. He does a wonderful job, and now he's gone to 2 hours. As I said, you can hear him Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern on sportsworldradio.com. He's riding shotgun with me here this morning for the first hour, talking everything. We talked about Phil Jackson, Michael Vick possibly going to okay. What would well, you know what? Michael Vick would be a good fit in Minnesota, and that would actually be a better move for Philadelphia because Nick Foles showed off. But I got the feeling if Michael Vick makes a move and Nick Foles is appointed the starting quarterback, he's going to have some problems because he's not going to sneak up on anybody anymore.
No, and they're all going to be going for him now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, is Michael Vick a backup quarterback now?
He is, because Nick Foles started the rest of the season.
So you think he's a backup quarterback now? He's not a starter no more? And, even if he goes to Minnesota, is he a starter over there or is he a backup?
If he goes to Minnesota, he's a starter, period.
Right, that's what I think, too.
If he goes to Minnesota, he's a starter. And I wouldn't be surprised if the offense has changed around a little bit to fit both Michael Vick and Adrian Peterson.
I wouldn't be shocked if he stays in Philadelphia and the new coach, what's his name?
Chip Kelly.
Escapes me. Kelly uses both of them. I mean, he did it last year.
Yeah, but then Foles got a hot hand.
Correct. So you use Foles until his hand goes cold because you know what's going to happen.
And then you bring Michael Vick back.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and then that's a different dynamic as a quarterback because Vick is different.
True. Very true.
So it brings a totally different element to the quarterback.
Who would be a good quarterback in Cleveland? I know we talked about this before, and I haven't come up with an answer yet.
Cleveland's got the first pick. Cleveland's got the first pick in the NFL draft, or is it Houston?
I think Houston has the first pick.
Okay, so Houston takes Clowney, and Cleveland takes Johnny Manziel. I hate that kid because I don't think he's an NFL quarterback, and everybody's comparing him to Fran Tarkenton. The guy's not even in the NFL yet. How the hell can you do that?
Who's being compared to Fran Tarkenton and why?
Johnny Manziel.
For 2 years?
For the way he runs around like Fran Tarkenton used to.
Yeah, but that's college defenses.
Exactly.
These NFL defenses are going to be licking their chops to sack his ass.
What's his face? Mel Kiper.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper said he's like that.
Mel Kiper said he's like Fran Tarkenton.
He's like Fran Tarkenton.
If Johnny Manziel was 6'4",
I can't stand Mel Kiper either.
If Johnny Manziel, listen, if Johnny Manziel was at least 6 feet tall, then I'll give him that. Okay? You want to look at numbers. Everybody wants to look at his numbers and the fact that he won the Heisman as a freshman and all. Listen, look at the numbers and compare them in the 2 years that he was at Texas A&M. And a matter of fact, look at the end result. If he was such a great quarterback and that offense was as great as it was, why did they not play in a BCS game?
Because it's Johnny Manziel. He's not good enough.
I rest my case. Personally,
I think he's going to be another Tim Tebow.
I wouldn't be surprised. He'd be a better. Okay, here. Merch has a thought. Hopefully, he'd be a better starter in Minnesota. Talking to Michael Vick than McNabb. Right. Philly, the Minnesota quarterback train is not a good one to ride. You got that right. McNabb got beat up and only lasted 5 games.
How about that? If he goes there to Minnesota, that's the second quarterback from Philly to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Donovan McNabb being the other.
That's crazy. They got a nice connection. Thanks, Merch, for that. They got a nice connection.
I mean, here's what frightens me is what if it does happen and everything plays out like Merch just said it did.
And McNabb and Vic has a good year?
Well, yeah. What if Vic returns to being Michael Vick?
I like that, Josh. Josh thinks he'll go to Buffalo.
No. That ain't happening. No.
Buffalo, there's another sad team right there. Wow. Huh? They go from they go from the Machine
Gun Kelly days
to the Thomas Kelly days to this. Unbelievable up there, huh? It's cold up there, too, in Buffalo. Woo!
Yeah, it's extremely cold in Orchard Park, New York.
Unbelievable. That's not a bad idea, though. But he's still with Philadelphia, Vic, right?
Yes.
And they just brought in Darren Sproles.
Darren
too.
Sproles, yeah.
That's not a bad
That
trade.
could be a good addition to their offense.
Did you see what Darren Sproles' wife tweeted?
Uh-oh. What did she?
She's pissed.
That she's leaving
pissed
New
at
Orleans?
New Orleans. Yeah, she's pissed at New Orleans. She's not happy. Yeah.
Okay. You want to have a little fun with this?
Sure.
Neither is Lala Anthony.
Well, if he leaves, he's throwing away $30 million.
Yep.
You think Lala Anthony's going to let that happen? Honey,
No.
that's $30 million worth of shoes I can buy.
True as you are, it's still hilarious. Oh, wow.
Really think
I'm
Lala's
almost
going to
afraid-
let him leave $30 million on the table? Get the flock out of here.
No, she wouldn't let him do that. But this is Carmelo we're talking about.
Yeah, well,
Okay, this is Carmelo we're talking about.
yeah, it's Phil Jackson we're talking about.
Well, if anybody can get in Carmelo's head, it will be Phil Jackson. He got in Kobe's head.
I read an article yesterday with a statement in there from Carmelo saying Phil Jackson coming to the Knicks has no decision on my decision at all.
Don't tell that lie. Don't
What?
tell that lie.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me do the gigahertz question of the day really quick as we're steaming toward the second hour. My thanks to Jeff Escal for riding shotgun with me. Question of the day is this. Which NFL team do you think has had the worst luck in the last 5 years? Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/snowman in the morning, or facebook.com/Arena Sports Network, or you can tweet us your answer at Snow Morning Show and at Arena Sports 13, and you can tell us your thoughts. Which team, again, the question of the day, which team do you think has had the worst luck in the last 5 years? And believe me, there are quite a few to choose from.
There's a bunch of them. I got five of them off the top of my head.
All right, spit them out.
Buffalo,
1.
Cleveland.
Yep.
Right? Buffalo and Cleveland. Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Carolina.
Until this year.
And Jacksonville.
Replace Carolina with Jacksonville.
Okay.
Carolina actually got the hell out of that hole and won the South this year.
Jacksonville, then.
Josh has a thought on Lala Anthony. You would think she'd like to leave that rat hole.
She loves New York.
That rat hole is New York, and she loves New York.
She loves it, man.
Mm-hmm.
She loves it out there. You kidding me? That's the place for her because she's in the entertainment business. So that's the mecca for her.
Which frightens me in and of itself.
Yeah, the only two meccas. Well, you got three meccas: Chicago, New York, and L.A.
Mm-hmm. Oh, forgot a team on that list says merch. Dallas. How can we forget them? How can we forget them? We were talking about them all morning.
I guess you could put them in there because of Jerry Jones.
And Tony, you know who.
Yeah. I can't believe Jerry Jones is running that business. He gives all that money to the quarterback and loses his best defensive player. Way to go, Jerry.
And you kind of commented on this too.
Yes.
You commented on that. You commented on that too. In fact, you talked about it. I want to say a couple of weeks ago, before it happened, and you posed it in the question when I tuned into Sports Sport Radio when you said how funny it would be with Jerry Jones giving all the money to his quarterback and then losing his best defensive player in DeMarcus Ware. Well,
I called it. I called it on my show.
Mission accomplished.
I do weird things like that. I call stupid, crazy stuff like that all the time.
Well,
people
you
tell
got
me
that.
I'm crazy.
You nailed that one on the head.
Yeah, people tell me I'm crazy, and I nail that stuff all the time. I have a listener.
You nailed that one on the head. Josh has his 5 teams: Arizona, Detroit, the Jets, Miami, and Cincinnati.
I don't know about Cincinnati. I have a listener on my show, Brian, who tells me that I don't know anything about football. Meanwhile, I just got that right.
You don't know anything about football, and yet 2 weeks prior to it happening, you called DeMarcus Ware leaving Dallas because Jerry Jones was stupid and giving all the money that should have gone to DeMarcus Ware to Tony Romo.
The day Urban Meyer got fired from Florida, I said he was going to be the next coach of Ohio State.
I saw that one coming.
A year before it happened.
I saw that one coming a couple days after he got fired from Florida. I saw that one coming.
Told me I was crazy. Well, hey, crazy as crazy does.
True.
I was right again.
Okay, I knew a guy who Ronald Murchison with a thought. I knew a guy who thinks the world of Jerry Jones because he doesn't need a GM. Okay.
Okay, there's 32 teams in the NFL. 31 of them have GMs. How's that working out for you there, Jerry Jones?
Okay, 32 Want to have some fun? 32 teams in the NFL, 24 of them actually have quarterbacks.
I mean, okay, there's 30 teams in the NBA, there's 30 teams in the NFL, and there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball, and there's 30 teams in hockey. 31 in NFL, right?
Yep.
Every team has a GM except for Dallas.
Except for the Dallas Cowboys.
How's that working out for you, Jerry?
It's not working out too well.
That's crazy.
Did he ever have a GM?
Yes.
When they won Super Bowls, right?
Bill Parcells was there. He was the president and GM. When whatchamacallit was there? Barry Schweitzer.
Schweitzer.
I can't stand that guy neither. When whatchamacallit was there when they first won their first couple of Super Bowls.
Jimmy
What's
Johnson.
his name?
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. He was
the
GM. And so, yeah, it's worked. And it's worked beautifully because you won Super Bowls. Now, if you've taken over, Jerry, you haven't won crap, have you?
One playoff win.
One stinking playoff win since 1996.
Hello? One playoff win.
I'd be fit to be tied if I was a Dallas Cowboy fan.
And fumbled away another playoff win.
My brother-in-law refuses to come on the show and talk about the Dallas Cowboys. That's how pissed off he is about them.
I know a few people are that way. When
you get fans like that, Jerry, you got a problem.
You know what? And for a long time, they were known as America's team. And people still think they're America's team. I don't.
No. Ever since he fired, whatchamacallit, the original head coach of the Cowboys.
Tom Landry.
The way he fired Tom Landry
was baloney.
Was disrespectful.
It was.
First of all. And ever since then, he's been hated.
Do you blame him?
No.
I don't blame him.
I can't stand him. For what he did to Tom Landry, I can't stand the guy.
Look, I couldn't stand the Cowboys once upon a time because they were the Dallas Cowboys. They were popular and they were actually good, and Tom Landry was the coach. And every time you saw that hat on the sideline, you knew you were in for a dogfight. Jerry Jones comes in, blows up the organization in 1989. He gets rid of Tom Landry, and like you said, the way he did that was baloney. I have not liked them since then. And I never will. Well, I can't say I haven't liked them since then because there's a part of me that like the era of the triplets because they actually drafted 3 players that meant a lot to the Cowboys and they had an outstanding defense. I couldn't stand them for that reason, but I respected them. I respected them in the era, I keep saying area, I'm sorry. In the era of the 90s, I respected them because they had a hell of a team, period. And I'll never get over the fact that they went to San Francisco and played a perfect game and beat my Niners for the 92 NFC Championship. But, hey, great teams do great things. They haven't done anything since that era, man.
And they're not going to as long as he's the GM.
No, he's not.
And until he gets that through his thick skull.
He'll never get through it. Come on. Who are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay. Keith Kokenda, fellow announcer, tweeted me. He said, "You do mean other than the Browns, right?" With the question of the day. Oh Lordy! Wait, when the Cubs get worked in this conversation? They have a GM. Well, yeah, they do. Okay, I'll leave that alone.
Yes,
I don't wanna,
they have it. Even though they're bad, yes, they have a GM.
Then why the hell hasn't he gotten it right?
But they have a GM. It's not the owner.
I'll repeat my question. Why hasn't he gotten it right?
Because they're not allowing him
to
spend
they're not the
money.
Cubs.
Because they're not allowing him to spend any money.
Oh, come on. Okay.
If the Cubs allow him to spend money, you'd have a team.
But who would he pick up?
If the owner Cubs would allow their GM to spend money, he would have a team. But they got his hands tied. They're not allowing him to spend money. So if you can't spend money to bring players in, your team's going to stink.
And they have for a while.
Right. It's not. See, it's the opposite in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones will spend all the money in the world, but he keeps picking the wrong players.
He picks the wrong players to spend money on.
Right. Look at it. It's complete opposite.
He picks the Cubs and Dallas. He picks the wrong players to spend money on. He's done that the entire time that he's been the GM. Period.
And the Cubs won't allow Theo to spend money.
Because they're trying to, if you want to call it an improvement, improve Wrigley Field.
They're spending money on mascots instead.
And on a stadium that is decaying by the second.
You know what? That's one stadium I want to see before they blow it up.
You actually want to see Wrigley Field?
Yes, I do. Yes, I want to see Wrigley and I want to see Boston. Even though I'm not a Boston fan, I still want to see it. I'm a connoisseur of stadiums.
I'd love to go see Fenway Park. See, the difference, Fenway Park got it right. Okay? They actually added on to their stadium with signage and everything and made it look presentable. And the way that started, when they built the monster seats.
Which was pretty cool.
Pretty damn cool. I want to take in a game from the monster seats in Boston. I want to do that.
I want to go to a game in Fenway Park, and I want to go to a game in Wrigley.
Have fun in Wrigley. I've been
to Atlanta Fulton County Stadium before they got rid of that thing. I've been to Shea Stadium. I was at the old Yankee Stadium.
I've seen that one.
I was at the old Qualcomm Stadium, so I want to go to Wrigley.
Are they going to blow up Jack Murphy?
No, Chargers play there.
Chargers play. That's right.
Unless Chargers get a football stadium here in San Diego, but I don't think so because they use Qualcomm for tons and tons of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, Qualcomm's making bank over there.
Not to mention they've hosted 2 Super Bowls.
Well, they're not going to host one anymore.
Three Super Bowls.
They're not going to host one anymore until they get a new stadium.
Right.
Why don't they?
Same with Miami.
Okay,
Miami's never going to host.
Here's something really cool.
Okay.
They just built the new Petco Park. Throw the freaking football game in there. They had the tennis tournament there. Throw the football game in there.
But let me counter that with this argument. That's tennis. You can host basketball in there too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, well, you do have an argument. If they can convert Yankee Stadium into a football field, I'm sure they can do the same for Petco Park. It's just going to depend.
If they can convert Yankee Stadium into a hockey rink, they can convert Petco Park for a Super Bowl game.
The only question is going to be the dimensions. But you know the wacky dimensions at Petco Park.
Mm-hmm. It'll fit. It'd be perfect. It would be perfect because you got all those great seats in the outfield.
Right.
And then you got all the killer seats down below. It would fit perfect in there.
They'd fit 100 yards worth of football in there with room to spare. I just hope it doesn't end up like it happened at Wrigley Field when they tried to host a football game in there between Illinois and Northwestern, and everybody had to go one way because of that doggone brick wall in the outfield.
Josh just asked me if I wanted to go to WrestleMania in San Francisco with him next year. Yes, and yes.
Levi's Stadium is going to be bleeping awesome.
You bet I do. Are you kidding me?
Levi's Stadium.
Josh, I've been a wrestling fan longer than you've been alive, my friend.
I will make the same statement. I can't wait to go. I will go see Levi's Stadium. I can't wait to go see Levi's Stadium, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait to go see
Wrigley
that place.
Field, Fenway Park are on my bucket list for sure. I mean, come on. I saw the Knicks play in Madison Square Garden, famous building.
That I have to see. I've only seen the outside of the Garden. I've been in the old Yankee Stadium. I'm going to go see the new one, hopefully sometime this summer.
Well, while you're there, you got to go to the new MetLife too. I mean, to
MetLife Stadium or City Field. City Field.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can go see City Field. I've seen Shea. Seen Shea. Seen Giant Stadium, the old one.
Mm-hmm. Meadowlands.
I've seen the Meadowlands Giant Stadium, and I've seen Brendan Byrne Arena. Yes, I still call it that.
Which I still call it that too, which is now Continental Airlines, right?
No, it's actually called the Izod Center.
Oh, now they changed the name again?
They changed it again.
Holy moly. They changed that name 3 times in my lifetime?
Yep.
Holy freaking moly.
You know what? I still call it Brendan Byrne Arena.
Me too. It's always going to be
It's always going to be Brendan Byrne Arena or Meadowlands Arena.
It's always going to be Brendan Byrne.
It's always going to be either, for me, it's going to be either Brendan Byrne Arena or Meadowlands Arena because they used both.
Just like the Jets play in Giant Stadium.
Yeah, figure that one out.
Yeah.
When the Jets were playing in Shea Stadium, they were actually in New York, and they got away with it, okay?
Right. To me, the new MetLife is still Giant Stadium to me.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's always going to be Giant Stadium.
And it's always going to be Izod Center holding extreme. The Izod Center is holding Extreme Rules this year.
Wow.
Okay, why don't they just move it to Prudential Center and be done? No, I'm kidding.
I'm okay with that.
You know what? There's one arena I don't think I'd be able to stomach and try to go see it. That would be the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's good for Brooklyn, though. They needed it, man, because that place was devastated. So it's good for Brooklyn, and where they put it is perfect. They needed it. They got it.
Yep.
You know what? You've been calling the Nets the New York Nets for years, and they played in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's the same thing with the Giants,
and the Jets. Yeah.
They both play in Jersey, and they're both called New York team. I don't get it. But it's good that the Brooklyn Nets kind of went back into New York. I kind of like that.
You do? You like that? I guess it's
if
because
you're going to call a team New York, at least be in New York.
Well, I've done my history research on the New York Nets, and you have a point there. But I guess it's just me being used to seeing them called the New Jersey Nets for as long as I've been watching basketball, and not having a good connection with the history of them playing in New York in the ABA. You know, research can only do so much. Jeff Escow riding shotgun with me here on Snowman in the Morning, and I'm going to get him out of here so we can go celebrate his birthday. Then I'm going to come back with some trivia, and let me say, birthday boy, happy birthday, and thank you for jumping on with me this morning.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I'm going back to bed.
You're going back to Go get some sleep, dude. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later. That's Jeff Escow, Sports World Radio. You can catch him Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern from 6 to 8. Let me pause for a break. And I only have one trivia question this morning. Why do I have only one? Because whoever answers it correctly will be declared the champion for the week, even though Josh has won 3 times. Let's put it all. Actually, no, that wouldn't be fair. I only have one trivia question this morning. It's actually due to time constraints because there's a game to prepare for that I have to prepare for tonight. We're going to do some trivia when we come back in a deuce. Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
What is the IHSA?
For more than 100 years, the Illinois High School Association and member schools have provided opportunities for students to participate in interscholastic athletics and activities, which produce vital education benefits.
Did you know the IHSA offers statewide championship series in 14 sports for boys and girls and sponsors statewide championships in 7 non-athletic activities? Did you know the IHSA licenses more than 10,000 contest officials in 13 different sports and that more than 300,000 students participate in IHSA sports and activities every year? Did you know activity programs only account for 1 to 3% of the overall education budget in a school? Did you know the nation's first sportsmanship mascot was created by the IHSA in 1997 with the birth of Attitude? Did you know students who participate in activity programs tend to have higher grades, better attendance, lower dropout rates, and fewer discipline problems than students that don't participate? Did you know activity programs provide valuable lessons for practical life situations? Teamwork, self-discipline, time management, dealing with adversity, and communication skills?
Now that you know, get in the game. Be a fan and join the fun. Support your local high school programs.
This message has been brought to you by the IHSA. Challenge yourself.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmaster.com. Slugmaster baseball and softball hitting aids, turning batters into hitters.
Oh, yeah. When you hear that, you know it's trivia time. 17 beyond the second hour. Doggone it, lost my music. There we go. Wait. There we go. 17 beyond the second hour here on Snowman in the Morning. We thank y'all for joining us, and we appreciate you joining us. If you like what you hear, we hope that you do. Why don't you consider becoming a listener partner of the Arena Sports Network? For $30 a year, you can help us build our foundation and bring the spotlight where it belongs, back to the student athlete. You will receive an ASN package, a couple of souvenirs, and also you will, as I said, help us build our foundation. For more information, call 312-566-8105 or visit us at thearenasportsnetwork.com/listener partner. All right. I got to do some trivia before we get out of here, and the subject is the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. All right. Here's the first question. You know the rules. First 4 questions are worth 5 points. Then the last one is worth 15, and for some reason that will decide the game. All right, here's the first question. Who holds the Major League Baseball All-Star record for hits in a single All-Star game? All right? Who holds the record for most hits in an All-Star game? Actually, the record is shared. Give me one of the players that holds the record for hits in an All-Star game. What do you mean, oh God, no, Josh? I don't know what he was talking about. Michael Young? Wrong answer, Merch. Okay, Josh guesses Mickey Mantle. Nope, try again. Three players share the record for most hits in a Major League Baseball All-Star game. See if you can name one. That's our first question. What do I have in front of me? Oh, Merch says Ichiro. Wrong. I want someone to actually get this. Dang nabbit. I'm surprised Josh hasn't scored yet. Fred Lynn. Wrong. Okay, Josh threw 3 guesses at me. Mickey Mantle, Joe Morgan, and who else he throw at me? Dave Winfield. Nice guesses, but And sorry, Josh. Try again. Now I want someone to really get this one. Okay, Voody's now in on the trivia challenge. And he guesses Babe Ruth. Wrong! And Merch comes back with Pete Rose. Try again. This might be, because of time, this might be my only question because I'm surprised no one's gotten this one yet. There we go. Trying to set up my my screens here so I can actually be effective. Barry Bonds. Sorry, Voody. Wrong answer. In fact, you know what? Because of time. Oh, boy. Rod Carew. Good guess, but Tony Gwynn? Good guess, but again, no one's gotten this one yet. And we're running low on time here. Most hit, 3 players share the record for most hits in a single All-Star game. See if you can name them. Yep, Josh just scored. And in fact, he got them all. Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, and Joe Medwick. So Josh gets the first 5 points. And we're staying on the subject of the baseball All-Star, Major League Baseball All-Star game. I would give him this one, but it'll be too easy, and I've asked it before. Now then, how about this? There are 5 players who hit 2 home runs in a single All-Star game. See if you can name one. I love the fact that Voody guessed Frank Thomas, but it's the wrong answer. Yeah, we know, Merch. We know. There's no other way he'd be able to come up with that. No, I'm kidding. There are 5 players who hit 2 home runs in an All-Star game. Yeah, Voody takes 2 guesses on both of them. And the guesses that Voody made were Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds. Merch says Johnny Bench. Wrong answer. I'm going to see if someone comes up with one of these. And I bet you, I mean this jokingly. Josh, I know you're cheating. Quit it. Let's see. Merch comes back with Babe Ruth. And Jeff comes back with Reggie Jackson. And on both of those. And 2 home runs in an All-Star game. 5 players have done it. See if you can name one. And Josh just scored again. First name he came up with was Ted Williams. So Josh has the first 2 questions right. 2 home runs in the game. Gary Carter, Willie McCovey, Al Rosen, Archie Vaughn, and Ted Williams. And the answer I got was Ted Williams. Now then, who hit the only inside the park home run in All-Star Game history? Stan Musial on the last question. That's a hell of a guess, but wrong. We're on our third question. Yeah, you do cheat, Josh. You know you do. Hey, Ronald just scored. I'm kidding around with Josh. Ron just scored. Only inside the park home run belongs to Ichiro. And I believe he did that in San Francisco. Now, there is only one player who has hit 2 triples in a single All-Star game. See if you can name that person. Oh, I forgot to give this to Ron. There. Only player with 2 triples in a single All-Star game. Juan Pierre. Wrong, Moody. Go back to bed. No, I'm kidding. Josh says question again. I already asked the question, but I'll pose it again. Name the only player to hit 2 triples in an All-Star game, in a single All-Star game. Ricky Henderson. Wrong! First 2 questions belong to Josh, and then Ronald Murchison just scored, and no one else has scored yet. So Lopez has 10 and Murch has 5, and we're on our 4th question. Kenny Lofton. Voody says Kenny Lofton. Wrong answer. Murch says Ozzie Smith. Nope. Try again. Meanwhile, I'm getting the triple play question ready, and Josh just scored again. Rod Carew, the correct answer. The only player to hit 2 triples in the All-Star game. Leo DeRocher. Try again, Merch. Josh got the answer. Rod Carew is the answer. Now for our triple play, and this will probably close up shop here. There are 3 answers, hence being called the triple play. There are 3 answers, and you got to give me them all. There are 3 players with at least 20 All-Star games played. Name them. Name the 3 players. I don't cheat, part 2. Yeah, right. I'm messing with Josh. Name the 3 players with at least 20 All-Star games played. And this will decide it. This will decide it. And Josh just scored and won again. Stan Musial, Willie Mays, and Hank Aaron, and Josh runs away yet again. Oh, man, can somebody please stop this rain? Stop his rain. So Josh wins. He won 4 times this week, and that is an SITM record. And that will do it. And I will close with this short message. And I want y'all to be good to somebody today. All week, been trying to lift up people and get them in a positive mood, show some love to one another. We got too much negative stuff going on as it is. Entirely too much. If it just has to start with you making somebody laugh, then let it start there. If it just has to start with you making somebody smile, then start there. But what I want to hit this morning is something I've hit earlier in the week, but it bears repeating because I had someone tell me that they regretted not following their dreams. Man, don't do that. It is never too late for you to set a goal as high as you can and then reach it. It's never too late for that, and it never will be too late for that. Dr. Prince, my good friend from the Open Mic Broadcast Network, said something, and it's so very true, and I'm going to interweave that and a Michael Jordan saying that I carry with me every day. Dr. Michael Prince says to me, and he says it to me all the time to remind me, the only thing that limits you from reaching your potential is you. So don't set any limits. And to close up shop for the week, remember this, and Michael Jordan said this in his Hall of Fame speech, limits like fears are often just an illusion. That's all they are. If you don't have limits, you have no fear. And when you have no fear, you can set and accomplish anything. Have no fear, have no limits. Have a great weekend, y'all.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, man. Wasn't that great, kid?
Tonight, yours truly will be at Marist High School for the 4A sectional championship between Whitney Young and St. Rita. And then tomorrow, we'll be back at you with Marquette Catholic Blazer basketball, 11 a.m. Central Time on the pregame. 11:30 tip time from Triton High School in Bourbon, Indiana, as they will take on Fort Wayne Blackhawk Christian. Thank you all for listening this week. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. I love you, and I will talk to y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend. God bless, and remember to make your next move your best move. So long, everybody. Talk to you Monday.